if you're not making the money that you want to be making, whether that's in your own business, whether you're employed, self-employed, whatever, the first point of call is to look at what's going on between your ears. Look at the paradigm that you're working within, because the ideas that you hold as true, whether they're true or not, that's what contains the potential that you hold for yourself. You see, we all operate within structures of belief systems. And these belief systems, 99.9% of the time, are not accurate, they're not true. So someone might say, well, that might work for you, but that doesn't work for me. That's an idea that's being held as real when there's no actual solid truth to what's being said. So look at the belief systems that you're working within and the frameworks that you've contained yourself in, and just question whether those ideas are accurate or not, because you don't need to do anything in particular, as in taking certain action per se. The action follows the perception of what's real and what isn't real. So if I can give you an example, in my life, I was doing, if I use my business for example, I was doing smaller property transactions. When I say smaller, it's relatively smaller to what I am today. And the reason I was doing that for a number of years is because I didn't think I had the capability at the time, without other people around me, to make that happen. Now, that was an idea that I held close. When I look at it now, and I've sort of set myself free from that pattern, I'm now doing much bigger deals. We're raising multi-millions of pounds to do these transactions, working with different lenders at to a higher degree, to higher scale. Nothing's really changed other than my perception of what I can and can't do. And everybody works within that. I know when I look at myself now, I have another paradigm, if you like, that I'm operating within. It's a bigger one, a more expansive one, but there's still one there, and I'm aware of it. And I know in the future there's going to be something else that will shatter that paradigm. It'll have to be like, it'll take courage as a rule. So you break through the limitations that you're holding for yourself. And as you break them, a new paradigm emerges. But then again, you know, once you've sort of been through a few of them, you sort of know there's another level, there's another level, there's another level. When you speak to people who are operating at higher levels of the game, if you like, they see the world very differently. They're not as so the qualities that these people tend to have, let's say the very wealthy, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions, they're, generally speaking, they're not tight with their money. They're quite open-minded. They're quite open with how they spend their money. They pay people well, which is potentially quite controversial. But if you actually know them personally, they're very good people, nice people, good to know. Because a lot of society tries to make the rich and the wealthy out to be some sort of devil, when in reality these guys are the ones usually paying the most tax, employing the most people, contributing the most to society, adding the most value to society. So these people aren't to be sniffed at, they're to be respected and to learn from. So that isn't to say there aren't no actions to take, far from it. It's more to do with recognizing that your actions generally follow your worldview. So if you work on your worldview first and question whether your beliefs that you hold about yourself and the world are true, and if they're not true, how are they holding you back? How are they holding you back in relation to your own business, to your own work? I've got a good friend, and he's a cousin as well, but he's more of a great friend, and I speak to him often about his work. He doesn't like it, doesn't get on with it, a lot of the people in the office and whatever. But when I say to him, can you become the best salesman you can be for that company, rather than concentrating so much on the other people and being unhappy and miserable in the workplace, that's not good. But if you sort of make a paradigm shift in your own mind that you can become the best salesman you can be, and you can also make this company that's been around for 100 years and has given you the opportunity to get on payroll, make some money, get good commission, the whole way that you're seeing that job has changed. And I can more or less guarantee that the energy, if you like, of you and that workplace will change. So it's not all about making loads of money and running your own company. It's about seeing the world differently, being more abundant in how you see things, and naturally, like, the world reflects that back at you. And your bank balance, your emotional bank balance, your spiritual bank balance, all these things take care of themselves. So in closing, what I'd suggest, what worked for me was see what isn't true, the beliefs that you're holding, the paradigms that you're working within, what is and isn't true. And if it's not true, can you understand why it isn't true? And can you become more expansive, be more, in the real sense of the word, not in the societal sense, inclusive, in the sense of like understanding other people's worldviews and seeing who is playing the game at a better level, what you can learn from their worldview and what you can learn from the people playing at a lower level than you on what they can do better and what you can do better and what qualities you've got which aren't serving you anymore. I hope that helps somewhat. I do think it's probably one of the most important factors in so-called personal development and like wealth creation that people don't take into consideration. They all go, we need to do this and do that and do the other, which is true, but the doing always follows how you see the world, not the other way around.